We've just got to Akihabara at the JR station, and there's a big installation of gachapon right in the middle of the station to get you ready for the arcades.
Today we're in Akihabara. If you love manga and figures and games and anime and you want to go figure hunting, this is definitely the place to come. Today I'm going to show you around and take you on a tour with me. I'm going to pick out some of my favourite shops, show you the arcades and what's here and where everything is. We're starting out at JR Akihabara station. Follow the signs to the Electric Town exit and you'll be right here. And straight away, it's so colourful. There's so many arcades and shops and anime posters all around you.
So starting from JR Akihabara station, right here in front of me, this is the road that takes you to the main road in Akihabara, which goes along this way. Along this way there's a couple of shops. That's not the main route though. There's a maid dreaming down there, a maid cafe. There's about 5 branches of that. On the corner here we've got Sega, that's an arcade, and look how many floors there are to all these places. First up, we're going to have a look around the arcade. You can't always film in there, so I'll do what I can. This girl's going to try and win this Sonic. Now this is a new sort of machine. You have to press the button when the light lines up with these sticks.
Damn it.
Oh, so close. Oh. On this, you can use your Suica or Passmo card to pay.
Hold on.
You get another go? No, that's it. We've got a lot to get around, so I won't show you too much here, but if you want to see more about what games and machines there are, watch my other video, What's in Japanese Arcades.
So continuing along this first street, this shop with the yellow sign is Radio Kaikan, and at first I only discovered the ground floor, which has got a sort of card shop, and there's a souvenir shop that sells quite a few Japanese Kit Kats usually, but it's actually got loads of floors. It's got some second-hand figures up there, lots of gachapon and lots of good stuff to look around, and we haven't even got to the main street yet.
This is gift shop the Akiba, and that's where you can find lots of Japanese Kit Kats and sweets and souvenirs. And we're going up the escalator. Here on the first floor, or floor 2 as they call it here in Japan, we've got a load of glass cabinets to look through. Now these are all second-hand figures, but I've found they're usually in perfect condition. They just might not have the boxes, that's all. Look, someone's getting rid of their K-On collection. In this one, someone's selling coins and medals, so you really can find all sorts. Out here, just opposite the shop, is a whole bank of gachapon. So many. Look at all these plushies. There's several branches of this shop. Robot. I think there's another one in Akiba, and there's one in Nakano as well. And they sell second-hand figures and toys and all sorts of things. In Radio Kaikan, there's actually 10 floors to look round. There's so much in there. You could spend ages just looking around that, but we've got a lot more to get through.
Now we've got to the end of the road, and this is the main street of Akihabara. So colourful. I love how the buildings look around here. There's a couple of shops this way and arcades, but the main bulk of it will be to your right that way on both sides of the street. And also on this side there's a few back streets behind there to explore as well. Up here, above here, we've got Maid Team in the Maid Cafe. You can hear the song on the street. I told you there's so many of them. You can still see the other one down there by the station. On the street you can see maids giving out their leaflets, trying to bring customers into their cafes. Here's another arcade, Adores. It's a bit of a smaller arcade, but there are several floors. Always look upstairs and see what there is. And just outside on the street you can see a lot of gachapon on both sides. First gachapon of the day. What are you getting here? Hamsters in shoes. Hamiketsu, that means hamster bottoms.
And I got a hamster in the blue shoe.
This one. We're just continuing along the main street, and along here it's really easy to find all the main shops. You don't really need to worry about writing down the details of them. It is pretty much wall to wall, figure shops. There are a few normal shops like suits and things in between. Here we've got a game shop. I love how these are decorated. They've got so many anime pictures on the outside and even stuck to the floor inside. And right next door here's Taito Station. That's one of the main big brands of arcades. That and Sega you'll see quite a lot. Look how many floors there are. Look at all those gachapon outside. So many. Arcades are great and they're a lot of fun, but they are really loud. It's like an onslaught on the senses. And they're also quite smoky, especially on the floors with the video games, because people sit and have a cigarette. Japan doesn't have a smoking ban like in the UK. Here there's some places to get snacks. There's crepes, takoyaki, and beef on sticks. Just next to that, this penguin is the mascot of Don Coyote, which is a big store that sells all sorts of things basically. You can find a lot of crazy gadgets, costumes, sweets. It's quite a good place to get presents for people. The figure stores and arcades get a little more sparse the further you get away from the station, but there are still some good shops down here. And I found some figures at some really good prices in stores further along away from the main section. We're just going to continue walking along this side, then we're going to cross over, look around the other side and explore the back streets over there. This shop's got some lucky bags outside. Utubukuro, not Fukubukuro. They're 1,000 yen. I don't see that very often actually. Inside they've got second-hand figures and prize figures by the look of it. Here's a shop with just gachapon machines and nothing else. It's called Gacha Gacha. We've just crossed over the main road and we're going to start going back down towards the station. But before we do, there's one shop up here. It's called Friends and that's a retro game shop. It's a really small sort of indie place and it's really difficult to find. You need to look for the ramen shop next door and a sign for a kind of dodgy looking massage place. If you can read katakana, it says Frenzu up this way. Oh dear, it's shut today and tomorrow, just temporarily. But here's the door. It seems like kind of a back street staircase to go up.
If you do go in there, it's just ram-packed full of games. There's not much room. It is here and on the floor above. And yeah, it's a really cool place to come check it out. I think the prices are quite good and you'll find some fairly rare things here. It's worth coming along. Again, further away from the station, there's not so much, but we'll hit on lots of shops soon. Don't all these vertical signs look cool? They're so colourful. Up here there's an Akiba system idol shop. Always look up and see what signs there are, because you might miss out on things. This shop's got a lot of second-hand figures and it looks like some new ones in boxes at the back as well. And they've got lucky bags too. Maybe that's a new thing they're doing now. I've never seen this one before. Apparently there's a retro game shop down this staircase. What do you say about shops being in unlikely looking places? We've just been walking down Main Street and we've come to this really tall gold building, which I think is some sort of event or convention space, and we're going to turn right here into the back streets. Across the street there's At Home Cafe and that's one of the famous maid cafes. I've been to that one and it's actually pretty similar to Maid Dreaming. It's not that different. And the cafe itself is on several floors up here. This is a good shop to look around. It's got lots on the floors above. The ground floor has figures. I think it's got some books and manga in there. There's the Animate Good Smile Cafe. There's Lashin Bang, I always think that's a funny name. That's a figure shop. And another branch of Robot, that's that second-hand figure shop we saw back in Radio Kaikan. There's a lot to look through. On the top floor we've just been on, there's loads of cosplays. They're actually quite expensive. The outfits are between about 5,000 and 30,000 yen. And the wigs are about the same as well. Some of the wigs are actually quite pricey, but I guess they must be pretty good quality. And I'm no cosplayer, although I have done a grand total of 3 cosplays. But I think if you were into cosplay, it would be really exciting to look around here. Even if you make your own clothes for cosplays, you can get all the accessories and like ties, and they had shoes and the proper sandal, like traditional Japanese sandals and things.
so it'd be really fun to look round. There are a couple of kind of random shops in here as well. There's a little shop selling yo-yos and an army surplus store.
We're just turning into a back street by the side of that shop we were just in.
Here we are at Kotobukiya. They do slightly more pricey, really good quality figures, but lately we haven't had so much luck with them. Every time we've seen a really good figure, it's been sold out, so I think it might be one of those situations where you have to pre-order them as soon as they come out to get the really good ones. But still, the figures are all on display and it's fun to look round. And on the bottom floor they've got more sort of merch and small goods. See, look, she's sold out. She's sold out. She's sold out. Oh, she's cute. She's sold out as well.
The colourful ones on the back.
I like their outfits.
Sold out.
Oh.
There's some coin lockers here. We're on the same street as Kotobukiya, so if you buy too much stuff and get fed up with carrying it around, you can put it in a locker. They're 200 yen, and you can often find them at stations as well. Let's continue this way, narrowly avoiding getting run over. We're just continuing down this street. This is underneath the railway tracks now. Here's Mulan, that's another figure shop. Now we're heading back towards the main road. J-pop live there. We're back on the main street now. It's just going to start to rain by the feel of it. Akihabara is not too bad a place to come in the rain because you can go into the arcades, there's lots of shops to go in.
We've just gone around the block and headed back into the back streets because there's a couple more places I want to show you back here.
Here's Super Potato. This is a retro game shop. It's a pretty good one. It's over a couple of floors. They've got all different types of retro games and it's so packed. The aisles are really narrow and they've got so much stuff. I always think a funny thing about this shop is they have piles of old consoles stacked up. They're all shrink wrap and they just have so many of them piled up. The entrance is quite easy to miss. We've just walked past it several times. This is the road that Kotobukiya is on. It's also right next to that really tall gold building. Look for the yellow sign, and if you can read katakana, it's Super Potato.
See, the games are arranged alphabetically by hiragana. If you don't read Japanese, the spines are all in katakana and kanji, so you have to fill them out to see what the games are.
Outside the other side of the station, the opposite side to Electric Town, you can see the AKB48 cafe and shop and the Gundam cafe across the square.
It really is quite overwhelming how much there is in Akiba to look round, and if there is a particular figure you're searching for, it makes it really fun because you're always thinking, am I going to find it in the next cabinet? Is it going to be just around the corner? Usually I spend a day in Akihabara. Maybe if you're not really into figure hunting, half a day would be okay, but I usually spend a whole day looking around here. There's just so much. So I hope you enjoyed the tour and found that interesting. If you've got any questions, just put them in the comments. There's more from Akihabara coming up and new Japan videos every Thursday if you want to subscribe. See you soon.